What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another video here with the Arizona Cardinals team breakdown. And it is going to be the last team breakdown of the offseason. This is the 32nd team video that I've done, and that will end this series for this offseason. Might do it again next offseason, not sure yet. But after this, I will be posting my positional rankings for quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends. Ranking, I believe, the top 32 quarterbacks I know for sure. I believe it's top 10 running backs and top 15 or top 20 wide receivers, and then top 5 tight ends. And then after that, it's back to the regular season content of weekly power rankings and predictions. So without any further ado, let's get right into the Cardinals breakdown. Last season, 4-13, last in the NFC West and 15th in the NFC, obviously missing the playoffs. It was not a great season for the Cardinals. You do lose your starting quarterback at a later point in the season, and that will cause them to lose Kyler Murray for at least half of this upcoming season, probably. So that's not a great sign for them. But looking at their additions, wide receiver Zach Pascal and linebacker Kaiser White both came over from the Eagles. And also, not mentioned here, but they have their new head coach, Jonathan Gannon, who was the defensive coordinator of the Philadelphia Eagles last season. You also add corner Rashad Fenton and linebacker Chris Barnes. So nothing too major here, just some solid pieces to add. Looking at their losses, wide receiver A.J. Green, defensive lineman Zach Allen, and edge J.J. Watt were both like their top two edge rushers. So losing them is going to be felt on that Cardinals defensive line. Also, wide receiver Chosen Anderson, or Robbie Chosen, whatever his name is now, I'm not sure. Linebacker Kamu Grugier-Hill, quarterback Trace McSorley, corner Byron Murphy, and wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins, most recently, who went over to the Titans. Looking at the draft class, I like how they played the draft. You managed to trade back and then trade back up to get Paris Johnson, but you also acquired the Houston Texans first-round pick next season, which, if the Texans are bad, could be another top pick for the Cardinals, as I'm assuming that their own first-round pick will be a very high pick, which could put them in a very good position in next year's draft. So as I said, they got Paris Johnson, who's probably the best offensive tackle in the draft, so that's a good addition to their offensive line. You also get B.J. Ojulari on your defensive line, Garrett Williams, the corner, Michael Williams, wide receiver, and then John Gaines, Clayton Tune, Owen Papo, Kytrell Clark, and Dante Stills. So overall, good draft. I like what they did, and I like how they were able to get some future picks to help invest in the future. Looking at their opponents, it's not an easy schedule, and assuming the Cardinals are not going to be a very good team, it's probably going to be a rough season for them. Playing in the NFC West, which is a tough division, also playing the AFC North and NFC East, two more tough divisions, then also playing the Falcons, Bears, and Texans, none of which I would say the Cardinals are for sure better than. Looking at a ceiling, I have it 4-13, which is very low for a ceiling, but I do think the Cardinals are going to struggle this season. As I mentioned before, you're going to not have Kyler Murray for probably the majority of the season, at least the first half. You lose DeAndre Hopkins, you lose J.J. Watt, Zach Allen on defense, Byron Murphy, who wasn't like an outstanding corner, but he was your number one corner. You lose him as well. It's just, this team's definitely in like a down year, and then we'll look to be better in the future, starting with this upcoming draft. But anyway, I have them splitting the Rams, getting swept by the Seahawks and 49ers, only beating the Falcons at home while losing to the Cowboys, Ravens, Bengals, and Giants, and then only beating the Steelers and Texans away while losing to the Commanders, Bears, Browns, and Eagles. On the other side of things, I have their floor at 0-17. I don't think they will be 0-17, but this is a team that I think is bad enough to be the first team to go 0-17 with the addition of the 17th game. As I said, I don't think that's going to happen, but I just not confident in this Cardinals team this upcoming season. As I mentioned, their future looks bright, specifically with the likely 2 top draft picks next season. We'll see how that actually ends up going, but for right now, not in a good spot. As for my actual prediction, I have it 2-15, beating the Rams at home and the Texans away. This would be good enough for the worst team in the league. I do expect them to have the number 1 overall pick. And if the Texans are a bottom 5 team, they may have 2 top 5 picks, including the number 1 overall pick, which I think if you're a Cardinals fan, you can be happy about, just because there's not really any expectations for this team this upcoming season. So yeah, thank you for watching.